Hey guys, what's up? Red Raven here. Gonna do a tutorial, probably series, on this synth right here, Rob Papens Blue. Mainly because I've just posted a new song called Wicked Intentions, and I've used this synthesizer almost exclusively in the song. The only synth really that I used was a FL stock synth, O-Gun. And I used that to create the bell sound, which I then sampled and ran through Fruity Granulizer to get the weird effect. Anyway, this is more about the basses and how I went about achieving them. So I have my own like little signature sound bank that I'm working on basically, and every time I make a synth sound I save it, and I save it in my own bank. That way when I go to that bank, any sound I pick from there I've made myself. So that means I can make a song and know exactly how each of those sounds work, and that makes it extremely nice to be able to automate every little bit of that synth and know what I'm doing to it. So I think I used this preset that I made. I'm going to turn that up a little bit for you here. Actually, should be fine. Right here. I used that one, I'm pretty sure. Maybe this one. And probably this one. And what you're hearing in all of these is they're basically the same sound, but what they have different tonal qualities so that they work well together, but they sound different. And it gets even crazier when you get into distortion and stuff like that in the mixer, which I will cover. I need to keep checking my time here so that I don't go over. Alright, so what I'm going to do is start from a blank bank and explain how I make sounds like that. So generally what I do is I start with a blank patch, and then I'll just go to the algorithm tab here and I'll pick one that I think I'll like. And I usually do FM synthesis because you can just really get some really cool, crazy sounds. So I'm going to go with patch 13. It has D modulating F, C modulating E, and A modulating B. So essentially it's taking 6 oscillators and creating them in a way that there's only 3 total outputs, with being B, E, and F. So I'm going to start with F because that's generally how I work. And I'm going to turn on D since it's what's modulating it. And I'm just going to press a key. And you can't really hear anything because there's not a whole lot going on. And sorry if you can hear me pressing on my keyboard. It's pretty close to the microphone. So what I generally go from here is I'll take this F and I'll change it to something like a triangle here. And I'm not a very good piano player, and I don't claim to be, so if you decide to comment on that, it's okay. And then I usually end up using a res just off the fact that I just love the sound it gives it. So I'm going to go ahead and route F out to filter A, turn it on in 12 dB low pass, turn the frequency up, just so I can hear how this is going to sound once distortion starts getting thrown on it. And that's a good starting point. And from here I'll turn up the shape knob on D, go to the pulse width and wave shaping tab down here, select oscillator D, and you will see what the waveform looks like now. And then if you just click and drag some here randomly, you'll see the changes and you'll hear them, and you can mess around with how much of this and feed and all that. Some cool sounds. And then my favorite thing about this is in Blue, and probably other FM synths too, I don't know, but I work mostly in Blue now. The volume knob when you're doing FM is essentially turned into the amount of the depth of modulation being how much D is modulating F in this case. So if I press a note and then mess with that, and sorry about my AOL Messenger down there, but you heard what that did to the sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to free LFOA, turn the sync on, turn the speed to 1 to 1. I'm going to leave everything else alone. I'm going to go to the mod matrix, select synth, free LFOA, destination, oscillator D, volume D, and then just click and drag them out. I'm going up to 13%. And that might be a little slow, so I'm going to turn it up to 1/2. Turning the depth up to 56%. And you can turn this up a lot and get some weird, almost a wobble in itself, just with FM synthesis. And then I'll mute F. I'll leave D alone since it's not going output, and then I turn E on. I'm gonna check my time real quick. Okay, I've only got about 4 minutes, so this is probably going to be a several part video. And then I'll make like a top presence to that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this up to 2, ratio 2, and D is at ratio 0.5 if I didn't say it. Sorry. I'm going to change this to a sine saw, change C on since it's modulating E, if we remember from the algorithm. And I'm just going to go into additive, and I'm going to go, I don't know, let's start at glass, and then we'll scroll through. Hollow sounded pretty good, and I'm going to do some shaping on that. So I'm going to go in here to oscillator C, and just click around a little bit here. This is all completely random off the top of my head. So that's a nice little overtone. So now let's click F back on. And you hear it's not really sounding good together because they're not both wobbling, and they don't both have the same sound almost. So we're going to go in here to the mod matrix, and we're going to go free LFOA, volume C. Yeah, and then we're going to turn it up about the same amount. And at this point I'm going to go to global, play mode, legato. That way I only press one note at a time. And that's how you start getting these things. And now if I go back and change the LFO speed back to like 1/4 or something, you can start here how you would do that. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I'll pick back up here in the next one. This is Red Raven, peace and out.